The singer, who turns 30 on Friday, called out Braun directly as she said his purchase of her music catalog happened to me without my approval, consultation, or consent. She slammed Braun's supporters and those who tried to hush her as the definition of toxic male privilege. Taylor hit out at the 38-year-old record executive in the very pointed speech after he had acquired Swift's music catalog when acquiring Scott Borchetta's Big Machine label group back in June. She did not name Borchetta in the speech, took aim at Braun in her speech as she discussed the unregulated world of private equity coming in and buying our music as if it's real estate, as if it's an app or a shoe line. The feud between Swift and Braun. Borchetta has been well documented as whether or not the Shake It Off hitmaker would be able to perform her back catalog of hits at the American Music Awards last month was up in the air. Ultimately, she was able to perform her hits including Love Story and Style as she was honored with the Artist of the Decade honor. Big Machine Records. Borchetta first signed Swift as a teenager, but she has been trying to purchase back the masters of her first 6 albums, to no avail. When Scooter Braun bought into Big Machine, she described him as an incessant, manipulative bully. Scooter's acquisition of the company also prompted Taylor to announce her plans to re-record her albums originally recorded under Big Machine this coming 2020. Before the AMA's performance, Scooter revealed he had received death threats since Taylor claimed he won't let her perform her back catalog at the awards, which he denies. Taylor Swift had some choice words for Scooter Braun and even slammed toxic male privilege while accepting the award for Woman of the Decade at the Billboard Women in Music Gala in Los Angeles. Swift, who turns 30 on Friday, took aim at the 38-year-old record executive in the very pointed speech after he had acquired Swift's music catalog when acquiring Scott Borchetta's Big Machine label group back in June. She did not name Borchetta in the speech, took aim at Braun as she discussed the unregulated world of private equity coming in and buying our music as if it's real estate, as if it's an app or a shoe line. This just happened to me without my approval, consultation, or consent. After I was denied the chance to purchase my music outright, my entire catalog was sold to Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings in a deal that I'm told was funded by the Soros family, 23 Capital, and that Carlyle Group. She continued, yet to this day, none of these investors have bothered to contact me or my team directly, to perform their due diligence on their investment, Taylor said. On their investment in me. To ask how I might feel about the new owner of my art, the music I wrote, the videos I created, photos of me, my handwriting, my album designs. And of course, Scooter never contacted me or my team to discuss it prior to the sale or even when it was announced. I'm fairly certain he knew exactly how I would feel about it, though, and let me just say that the definition of toxic male privilege in our industry is people saying, but he's always been nice to me, when I'm raising valid concerns about artists and their right to own their music. And of course he's nice to you. If you're in this room, you have something he needs. The fact is that private equity enabled this man to think, according to his own social media post, that he could buy me. But I'm obviously not going willingly. Yet the most amazing thing was to discover that it would be the women in our industry who would have my back and show me the most vocal support at one of the most difficult times, and I will never ever forget it. Like, ever. The star went on to challenge the audience to stand as an example for someone else in the next generation that loves the same thing that we love. No matter what else enters the conversation, we will always bring it back to music. As for me, lately I've been focusing less on what they say I can't do and more on doing whatever the hell I want. The audience later gave Swift a standing ovation for her powerful words. The feud between Swift and Braun. Borchetta has been well documented as whether or not the Shake It Off hitmaker would be able to perform her back catalog of hits at the American Music Awards last month was up in the air. Ultimately, she was able to perform her hits including Love Story and Style as she was honored with the Artist of the Decade honor. The performance came after Swift was cleared to perform any of her previous hits amid all the controversy. A statement released days before the event read, "The Big Machine label group and Dick Clark Productions announced that they have come to terms on a licensing agreement that approves their artists' performances to stream post-show and for rebroadcast on mutually approved platforms." This includes the upcoming American Music Awards performances for Thomas Rhett and former Big Machine Records recording artist Taylor Swift. Big Machine Records' Scott Borchetta first signed Swift as a teenager, but she has been trying to purchase back the masters of her first 6 albums, to no avail. When Scooter Braun bought into Big Machine, she described him as an incessant, manipulative bully. Scooter's acquisition of the company also prompted Taylor to announce her plans to re-record her albums originally recorded under Big Machine this coming 2020. Before the AMA's performance, Scooter revealed he had received death threats since Taylor claimed he won't let her perform her back catalog at the awards, which he denies. Posting to Instagram 2 days before the event and tagging Taylor in a lengthy statement, he also shared a screen grab of one of the threats. He wrote, "It is important that you understand that your words carry a tremendous amount of weight and that your message can be interpreted by some in different way. This morning I spoke out publicly for the first time saying I wouldn't participate in a social media war. However, I came home tonight to find my wife had received a phone call threatening the safety of our children as well as other threats." Taylor was definitely deserving of the esteemed honor of Woman of the Decade after numerous sold-out tours, including stadiums, chart-topping albums, and encouraging her fans and other artists to stand up for themselves. Her 5 albums released during this decade, between 2010 and 2019 Speak Now 2010, Red 2012, 1989, 2014, Reputation 2017, and Lover 2019, were all #1 on the Billboard charts. Among her other accomplishments include 3 singles that hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles, plus 3 worldwide stadium tours and 2 Billboard Woman of the Year awards. The Christmas Tree Farm singer stunned at the event as she appeared to come straight out of a love story in a navy jumpsuit with gold chains for her shoulder straps. Not a hair was out of place as she rocked a braided ponytail and that red lip classic that has been just as iconic as her music. She made sure to also bring a little holiday spirit to her look with green and red painted fingernails and toenails to brighten up the sophisticated attire. The Grammy-winning artist was just 16 years old when she first got her claim to fame with her self-titled debut album. And now she holds a slew of awards such as 23 Billboard Music Awards, 12 Country Music Association Awards, and 10 Grammys to name a few. Jamila Jamil, 33, had the honor of presenting the iconic award to Taylor, who had some heartfelt words to share to the audience of Taylor's wild accomplishments. As she accepted her award, the man singer had some wise words to share with the audience before diving into the hard-hitting facts. So what does it mean to be the woman of this decade? Well, it means I have seen a lot. When this decade began I was 20 years old. And I had put out my self-titled debut album when I was 16. And then, the album that would become my breakthrough album was called Fearless. And I saw that there was a world of music and experience beyond country music that I was really curious about, she began in her acceptance speech. She then went on to touch about the wave of harsh criticism that she had received, quoting an old headline that called it a Swift backlash. And now I realize that this is just what happens to a woman in music if she achieves success or power beyond people's comfort level. During her speech, she also called out some other trailblazers who she admires in music, including Megan Thee Stallion, Lizzo, Lana Del Rey, Camila Cabello, and more. The songwriter is in good company tonight as other big names in music will be honored this evening, such as Billie Eilish, who is Woman of the Year, Alanis Morissette, Nicki Minaj, Alicia Keys, Brandi Carlile, and Rosalia. Alicia is also being honored with the Impact Award and Brandi is set to receive the Trailblazer Award. Nicki carried her purse and phone on stage as she accepted the honors from presenter Normani, then paid tribute to her late friend and tour mate Juice WRLD, days after his death at 21 amid a seizure while at Midway Airport in Chicago. Minaj shared a touching exchange she shared with the late performer, whose real name was Jared Anthony Higgins, as she was stressed prior to a concert. "He held my hand and told me to stay calm and pray," Minaj told the audience. "I was shocked that he told me that, but right there in that moment, I did feel calm and wondered, what am I actually worried about?" The Anaconda singer called the artist a kindred spirit and said she wished she had done something to help after the rapper's family issued a statement acknowledged he had a drug problem. "I know this is a women in music night," Minaj said, "and I'm honored to be in the presence of all these women. But it doesn't feel comfortable to talk about me when someone so important to our culture died." Billie Eilish received the Woman of the Year honor as she was introduced by music legend Cyndi Lauper. The 17-year-old superstar singer accepted the award as she said, "It's really weird to be Woman of the Year at 17. Ariana Grande got the award that I'm getting right now a year ago, and 2 weeks ago I realized that's the award I'm getting, and that really freaked me out." Alicia Keys was given the Impact Award as Rosalia earned the Rising Star honor. The 26-year-old singer, real name Rosalia Villatobella, accepted the Rising Star Award at the ceremony as she was presented the award by Lauren Jauregui, while thanking her friend, Euphoria star Hunter Schafer, before delivering her powerful speech on equality. She began by thanking Billboard and calling the award an incredible honor for somebody who makes music in Spanish like her. She went on to say how she was born in Barcelona to a very matriarchal family, with a lot of women who were super strong. "My mom, I remember, she used to do so many things, I don't know how she did so many things at the same time, she was amazing," she said. Alanis Morissette was given the Icon Award as the honor was presented by Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins, who toured with Morissette 45 in the mid-90s. The You Oughta Know artist reflected on how she was treated by male musicians early in her career. She said, "It was challenging, because it was like, if there was not going to be any sex or any kind of romantic interaction, then they didn't know what to do with me. So they ignored me off stage." But one man earned her thanks, as she mentioned her mouth was dry, and her husband Mario Solai Treadway brought a bottle of water to the stage. Morissette continued, "I just had a baby, like 10 minutes ago. So, I have to acknowledge my husband because I could not do what I'm doing and be able to unschool and have the amazing family that we have together without you. None of this is possible without support, specifically from my partner." As for performances, there was no shortage of entertainment as Megan Thee Stallion and Tiana Major 9 and Johnny Venus of Earth Gang took to the stage to give everyone a show. Back in November, Scooter broke his silence during a Q&A moderated by Variety where he briefly spoke about the ongoing drama. "I just think we live in a time with toxic division and people thinking that social media is the appropriate place to air out on each other and not have conversations." And while he didn't mention her by name, he went on to explain his ideal situation on putting this all behind them. "What I'll say is people need to communicate, and when people are able to communicate, I think they work things out. I think a lot of times things are miscommunicated, but I believe that people are fundamentally good." Billboard Women in Music honorees: Woman of the Decade, Taylor Swift. Woman of the Year, Billie Eilish. Rising Star, Rosalia. Game Changer, Nicki Minaj. Icon, Alanis Morissette. Trailblazer, Brandi Carlile. Impact Award, Alicia Keys. Powerhouse, Megan Thee Stallion.